Selthor, you head um, from all your different business as you're walking home. You just had that strange encounter with the short elf with the very distinct voice, and you make it to your home. You've just had a long day. When you walk inside, what are we greeted by as Selthor walks into his home? It's been a while since you've gone home. You've been sleeping at the office or at the lab, working on all these different projects. What does your house look like?
Selthor's home is very neat and tidy. It's got like a little corner kitchen, but it probably takes up probably a good portion of the house at the same time. And one wall is open up to like a bar area that creates another corner section of the house that takes up the two together take up one pretty much half of the main area. Um, it has a entertainment area with the bar, and then some couches. Um, and then off to one side, there's kind of more like a dining area. Um, he's very simple, so most of it's whites and grays and blacks, but every once in a while you see there's color, but it fits. So like on the table, there's flowers all the time. On one wall, there's a picture, but there's just two or three colors in the picture. Um, on one wall, there's a splash of purple, but it all fits together. Um, off to one side, the only other room in the building is his study and bedroom. Also very neat and tidy. Everything's organized. There's dates on everything that needed. Everything's alphabetized that can be. Um, there's books above his bed. Um, all once again in alphabetical order, by series, and there's some books on his nightstand that if someone noticed would obviously realize that what he's currently working on, probably a 3 or 4 book series, probably 2 or 3 down the line, is tilted outside of the other ones, indicating that that's the current book he's on.
Are
Um,
these fantasy books or like
all
like
kinds of
novels, or
books,
are these like intellectual like papers and whatnot?
all the above. Currently, what he's working on is different different formulas. So the book series he's reading on is currently, it covers basically every area of academics, but very in depth. Um, the book he's currently reading is after the mathematician's book, which is probably the largest out of all of them. Currently working on um, probably like a chemistry or science, something like that. Um, a lot of the books are fantasy style. A lot of them are academic books. Some of them are history books. Some of them are very costly too. Um,
Cool. So you come in and you're greeted by this, very simplistic, very minimalistic place. Take us through what a normal evening with Selthor when he gets home, when he actually has the opportunity to go home, what it looks like.
on a normal day, he probably comes home and he would finish up a little bit of paperwork, and then he would probably make his dinner. His kitchen is very, like I said, takes up a very good portion of the house, probably the next largest to the living area. Um, he has all the necessities. Um, one of the things that keeps him in touch with his former life. Um, he has where most probably um, kitchens would have some kind of fuel um, kitchen. His is all um, slightly, it's modern technology, but it's very rustic. So his stove can actually have a fire on it to burn,
Oh, very cool.
with the vent going out. Um, Different stuff like that that he can cook almost primitively inside this modern kitchen, while also having the modern abilities also. Um, he
Nice.
prob he probably cooks some sort of meat, um, and sits down and eats it.
Once you're done eating your food, um, there's a radio, of course, which you have in your house, um, and you use this to dial up the last location you had for Annie, and there is no response. It says the line is currently occupied.
Selthor probably takes that almost as a hint, um, and just decides to leave it and maybe come back to it another time in his mind, but also knowing that um, probably will never happen.
Cool.
Um,
You you put that down, and there's a interruption to your normal routine of going home and just spending the day. There's a knock at your door.
he kind of collects himself, and walks up to the door and opens it.
There's an enforcer standing there. Um, hello, sir. Um,
What's the name on the badge?
the badge says Bill.
Bo?
Bill.
Bo? Um,
Bill.
Bill. Okay.
Bill.
Um, Selthor says, Enforcer Bill, is there a problem?
Um, maybe, sir. Can I step inside?
Is this formal or personal?
Yes.
He kind of steps off to the side and motions towards the table and says, have a seat.
He walks in and sits down and crosses his hands and starts bouncing his leg.
Selthor sits across from him and says, and after grabbing a piece of paper, and says, and what's your issue, Enforcer?
You ever struggle with knowing what the right thing to do is?
There is things you should do.
I served under Prince, sir. And I'm sure you heard about everything that went on with that.
Yes.
Do you know the actual story, sir, or just the letter that was sent out by Jeffrey?
Selthor says, I read the letter. I've been dealing with several other things. I have not had time to look into it.
Well, this is classified, but I'm sure you have clearance for it, and I don't honestly know what else to do. Prince Charmaine was a rebel, sir. He sent out a paper inspiring rebellion among the entire enforcers branch of the marshalship. And he, myself and several others were involved in his extermination. But my squad mates, I think they took his words to heart. And what are you supposed to do when the people you're trained to entrust your every fiber to, you're told you can't trust the people on the street because they could be harboring rebel sentiments. You're told you can't trust outsiders because they're going to try and draw you away from the dragon. And the only people you can trust are the people in your squad and your commanding officers and the people in those positions. What are you supposed to do when the people you're bred your entire life to think are your family and the only people you can trust are the people you're not supposed to trust? What do you do when you're stuck between what you know to be right and your family? You don't care about any of this.
The only thing you can trust is you. The only thing you should trust is you.
How stereotypical of a vampire to say that.
But we all trust others.
He says several names of his squad mates and says, I would report it to the enforcers, but or the marshalship at large, but I don't know how many of them are compromised.
And how did you take what Prince said?
If I'm being honest, sir, he made some good points.
Is this
Prince
boy
was
a
good about
vampire?
them. No, he's a human. Prince was always good about being very clever. He was a workaholic. He was a good kid. But he there comes a place, when where is the line between what is rightful criticism and what is inspiring rebellion? There's a very fine line there, and Prince stepped over that line. You can criticize your betters, he nods to you. He says you can offer up advice and you can say what you think, but at the end of the day, they're your betters for a reason. They know better than you. They live longer than you. They're more capable than you in every way. And
Selthor kind of sets the pen down and goes, I will tell you 3 things, my boy. There are things in this world that no one will ever understand. You can never criticize what you call betters, for no one is ever better than you. For everything that you are good at, there will always be someone better.
he looked at your first remark, he gets taken aback.
People in position are never in that position because of their abilities. They are always in that position because of others' abilities. And whenever you try to push your abilities, my boy, that is when others stop you. That is when others take action.
You're speaking from experience, sir.
People don't like what they don't like. Once they decide that they are against something, they will kill their own family for it. They will disown their own family for it. And they will never trust it, even if it proves to be the most trustworthy thing.
What are you
Now,
trying to tell me?
you should always trust those who trust you and have your back. But if you believe that something is wrong, that's when you should put a stop to it.
You know, you're nothing like people say you are.
He smiles.
You know what they call you? Lieutenant Colonel
Which
Selthor,
one?
the Silver Claw, the right hand of the devil, the master of the arms.
His eyes
Pillar of a
shift.
thousand.
His eyes shift as his eyes turn from a yellowish white or yellowish gold or golden color to a white to a red as his claws begin or as his nails become claws. He goes, I am all of those things, but I'm all of those things for a reason.
No, I
And
don't think you are. From what you just described to me, you're nothing like what they say. You know, you come in. I came here expecting, I don't know, the right hand of the devil. And I get some weird spiel about trust and philosophy. I mean, I suppose I asked for it. I think,
I'll tell you what I trust. He points to a bookshelf on a wall and says, that's what I trust. No one has ever given me a reason to do otherwise. And no one has
knowledge.
ever
Do you mean books,
learning.
sir, or knowledge?
Learning.
Well,
Knowledge has no power where you are not willing to use it. When you know something, you can use it. But if you do not use it, it is worthless. So learning, boy, is power. If you
I
have
see.
the ability to learn, you can do anything. You can become anything, and you can stop anything.
I think I'm content where I am, sir. I just hope my friends can learn
And
to
that
be
is why
content where
you
they
are an
are too.
enforcer.
I'm aware. It's also why Prince is dead. He stands up.
Prince is dead, like I said, because he tried to use his own ability to get himself. While it is a noble act, like I said, one cannot simply just use their own abilities.
Bill looks very confused. Are are you endorsing rebellion, sir?
I would never endorse rebellion.
He's gonna roll a perception check on you. Are you trying to hide what you're thinking?
No,
He rolled a 15 on his perception or insight. Is Selthor encouraging him to rebel, but more cleverly than Prince did?
no. He said the Selthor's eyes kind of shift back to a rich golden. And he says, rebellion only destroys. It will destroy one side or the other. The only thing I endorse and encourage is learning.
He nods his head and says, well, you have some prime learning right there. Learn their names, and I hope you can do something about it before they hurt themselves or others. Excuse me, Lieutenant Colonel. He stands, and Bill leaves.
He looks down at the paper with all the names, and he goes and researches them.
Okay. As you're reading them over,
Has Selthor's met Liza already, right?
I believe so. Yes, you have met
Yeah.
Liza. As you're reading over these names, a radio call comes in.
I pick it up.
Lieutenant Colonel Selthor?
Yes. Who is this?
This is, I guess I'm your new assistant. I know this is a terrible time to call us late in the night, but I figured you would want to know. I've already sent someone to inform the commander. It's Huron von Gimsbach sent out an alert about 45 minutes ago that Jeffrey Phillips has been reported unconscious and missing, and an active manhunt is involved trying to figure out where he is. I believe the most recent report found him in an alley near death, and they're flying him to a nearby hospital. Condition doesn't look good.
Thank you. And he hangs up the phone and leaves.
Cool. You leave your house? You said he leaves, and I wasn't sure what that meant.
I guess would he know where he would be taken if he was?
Yeah, the marshalship has the Capitol building has a hospital built into it.
Yeah,
it's probably the most secure place that you could go.
That's probably where he would go and radio people on the way to confirm that's where he needs to be going.
Okay, yeah, that's easy enough for you to confirm. Jeffrey has been transferred there.
I do need to go though. I have church here soon.
Okay.
I can continue later tonight if you have more that needs to be done tonight.
Well, that's actually a decent stopping point. So you begin to head through all that. I know this was a little shorter, but that's fine. We can pick up next week. You arrive at the hospital to a scene of. Yeah, we'll just do Wednesday. You arrive at the hospital to a scene of absolute chaos and everyone just freaking out around you. You looking back and forth between these different people, not really sure where to go. You just plow straight through it, and I think this was the wrong one, but okay. I guess that's where we'll end the session.
Coming for you.